What I've got for you today is supposed to be an amazing series of StarCraft 2. It's time for a best of 3 of Terran versus Zerg between two players that I haven't featured on the channel in a little while. Look at that little fairy spinning around on the main command center. Spotting right here in the bottom left-hand corner of a map called Persephone. Playing with the blue Terran SCVs, we have none other than Percival. It's been a little while since I've last seen Percival play. Always playing spicy strategies. His opponent in the top left, playing with the red Zerg drones. He goes by the name of Rex. Rex actually has been organizing a ton of tournaments himself as well, while still competing in events of his own. So, let's see. Well, he's not competing in his own tournaments. He's casting his own tournaments. He's hosting his own events, but he's not. Anyway, I heard that this particular series features some unorthodox StarCraft. So let's find out. So far, it's a very quick command center on the low ground here from Percival. Into triple barracks on the high ground. Okay. So this is CC first into triple barracks on the back of this. If this is going to prompt any sort of aggression from Rex early on, he is going to be in a little bit of trouble because there's going to be a stupid amount of Marines. Obviously, though, he doesn't know what's going on. For all he knows, at this point, there might not even be a Zerg. You look on the other side of the map, there's a whole lot of nothing. Well, I think he must have seen the Overlord. So at least he knows that the opponent did load into the game. But this is one of those types of builds, though, as a Terran player, where, technically speaking, at like 5 minutes into the game, your opponent could be AFK. You don't even really know because there's just no information for you whatsoever. So, command center first into triple barracks, 1 Marine, straight double tech lab, single reactor. So up until 3 minutes, Percival has had 1 Marine. Now, I believe in Jimmy as much as the next guy, but this is an exceptionally greedy start for the Terran player. Usually, though, in the current meta, Zerg players respond to greed with more greed of their own. Technically speaking, you could be aggressive, but it's usually kind of an all-in, right? As a Zerg player in general. If you want to be aggressive, usually it very quickly turns into an all-in, especially in the first few minutes of the game. So, yeah, rather than fighting fire with fire, they usually try to, well, fight it with additional expansions of their own. And that's exactly what we have here for Rex. So, how has Rex responded? Well, he has skipped out on a whole lot of unit production. He doesn't have anything. Like, at this point, he's got 4 queens, and that's it. He's got queens, overlords, and drones. That's all we have. He did go for Zergling speed, so I guess if he needed some units in a pinch, that would be nice, but he's decided to just go into his additional Roach Warren there, and then a whole lot of droning of his own. Third command center starts up. Percival is building up his economy. This is going to hit like a truck, though. So, remember the 16 Marine drop from back in the day? It would hit at 5 minutes and 10 seconds usually on the other side of the map with 16 Marines, Stimpak, no combat shields, and then 2 medevacs. This is triple command center, 18 Marines, Stimpak and combat shields, but no medevacs. Honestly, this is this is kind of a banger. He's walking the units. It's also hitting like a half minute earlier. The only problem, though, is that this is very likely to be a one-way trip, and every Stimpak is going to hurt his army. Maybe he's just doing a little bit of creep clearing. Yeah. You know what? It is spring after all. A lot of people do their spring clearing at this point in time. Percival apparently is just trying to, I don't know, clean his floors. I heard you're supposed to clean your floors. Yeah. Some people even clean their clothes, is what I've recently learned. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Anyways. Oh! Dude, we're using the... Oh, that's why! I completely forgot about that. That actually is so cool. Yo, he just stimped and then immediately healed up and ran forward. So Persephone is one of the very first maps in competitive StarCraft 2 that features a healing circle. It's basically like a Warcraft 3 healing fountain, except, well, better. Albeit a little bit smaller, I suppose. But this map, we rarely see it being used. Percival can back up to the safety of the healing fountain. There you go. get some stimpaks done, heal his units back up, go across again. Yo, that's actually so sick. Now that I'm looking at this build, it should be the norm. Normally, right, the problem is when you play without medevacs. Look, he doesn't have medevacs. I mean, he's only just now gonna go into medevac production, but he's prioritizing more Marines. Normally, every stim you take, it hurts your own army by like 20%. Huh. What a build here from Percival. I actually love this. Honestly, that's what Marines needed. Marines needed a little bit of a buff. I think we can all agree that Marines weren't powerful enough, right? So they needed a little bit of a pick-me-up. Here we go. Infantry armor, infantry weapons. Both of them are finishing up. Now Rex, he's been... Dude, it's so silly. I think he's going to stim again. Now the circle is pretty small. Yeah, so he's... Oh, geez, that's so fun. That's actually so sick. I haven't really seen anybody use it effectively. Now the medevacs are here too. Good targeting there on the baneling. Good macro here in general. We're backing up again. He's actually moving the medevacs away on purpose so he's not wasting energy. This is the first strategy I have seen that is specifically built around a healing shrine. Baneling roll by attempt, but it's slightly before Bane speed is done. In the meantime, those Marines are running. Does he pay attention at home though? Well, he doesn't really need to. Plenty of units defending that area. Stutter step micro through the speed circles. Yo, Percival, I haven't seen your games in a while, but this is sick. I don't know if it's actually winnable. Like, I don't know if you're winning this game, but I love everything about this threat. That's really cool. This is why map design in StarCraft 2 is so critical, right? As a StarCraft caster, it makes sense, right, to cast mostly the most popular players. But it doesn't mean that they are the only ones with interesting abilities and interesting ideas. Obviously, both of these guys are still extremely good, right? Like, both of them are high Grandmaster players. Don't get me wrong. The jump from high Grandmaster, though, to Clem or Serral is quite steep. But strategically, there might just be a little bit more wiggle room. Great movement here again. Target fires a lot of the banelings down. That being said, though, now we're running, and we are running on creep. Rex does push this army away. Little bit too aggressive there. And maybe this is gonna, well, shift the tides a little? Maybe. Enough units in the middle of the map, too, to try and reinforce this. The little fairy for good luck really helping out. And so far, I mean, the creep clearing squad has been phenomenal. Look at the amount of creep that Rex has out on the map right now. There's very little. I mean, he's trying desperately to take whatever base he can. Finally, we have some counterattack aggression again. Yeah, at least an attempted bit of counter-aggression. Is he going to be able to get a siege tank? Okay, he will get that. One little Zergling here blocking the expansion. It's nice and all, but now he's dead. He was smack dead in the middle, though, so that's nice. Okay. Ultralisk Scabbard. It is one of the units of all time. Generally speaking, I don't love Ultras in this matchup very much. I was gonna say, usually it can be quite nice, though, before the opponent hits Ghosts. But with the 4th Command Center now finishing up, Persephone has decided to go into his own Ghost Academy. And he has still not really let up. He's still gonna continuously fight. Really cool. I've seen, like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 games on this map so far, maybe even more. And we've accidentally seen some units walk into the Healing Shrine. But generally, it's not an entire strategy built around it. Now, there is a Viper. Blinding Cloud could be huge. Yep. That is one. Can we get another one? Oh, he doesn't have the energy. He's just a little short. Still, though, Rex is breaking through this Terran player that has occupied his high ground. He still has a good economy to continuously reinforce this. And even though Ghosts are not out yet, neither are Ultras. Did he actually go for the Ultra upgrades? He did. So, Chitinous Plating? Chitinous Plating second? Oh my god. Oh my god, we're fighting over here. Yeah, no, too much firepower. He went for the Ultralisk speed upgrade first. Oh, no. Is it a misclick? Oh, man, that would be one hell of a way to lose. There's 2 upgrades in the Ultra Cavern. One of them is speed. The other one is armor. Speed is a luxury. Armor is an absolutely essential research. He goes 3-3. Oh, he doesn't know. He never checked. Yeah, he doesn't have chitinous plating. Chitinous plating is the important upgrade here. Marines are still going to be good now when it comes to killing Ultras. He needs to start that up. He's going 4 Ultras, though, so he's definitely forgotten. I keep checking here in case I'm dumb, you know? Oh, okay, he sees it. I keep checking the upgrades tab to see if I'm stupid, because sometimes I'll look over those sorts of things, but not dumb this time around. Okay, let's see. With a good engagement, though, the Ultras can still put in the work, but I think Siege Tanks and Marines are going to shell them apart. Percival is respecting it for now. Bunch of Zerglings going around the site. Bunch of Roaches left over, too. Command Center tries to land over here. What about this main engagement, though? Okay, Ultras still putting in work. When the Ultras get into the combat, they deal a hell of a lot of damage. Armor upgrade or not, their main problem is usually trying to get into the fight. Percival once more takes a final creep, and it does not go as well as he would have liked. He's complicating his army composition now quite a lot, too, by adding Liberators together with Ghosts right around the same time. Rex is going to be able to push all of this away. Good biles there onto those libs. Man, what a game so far. These Ultras are very effective despite not having chitinous plating. I think he actually meant to go for the speed upgrade first. Has to be. Well, right as all the Ultras are dead, though, -1, that's when the chitinous plating is finished. What a strange game. Okay. Rex is smelling blood. He's like a piranha. He's just spent his piggy bank too. He made 5 additional Ultralisks. He actually should wait, though, before those Ultras are here. It's the one unit that Zergs have to wait for. Generally, you can just kind of go and go and go as Zerg. But his supply count could sort of be deceiving him at this point in time, because those Ultras are not going to join in until they pop out of the cocoon, and that might be after all of those other units have died. Yeah. Okay. He's just about to finish up 3-3 of his own. Percival already finished his own +3/+3. Percival's still spending money like he's never gonna run out. I think these are luxury researches that he could delay for a little bit. He decides to go building armor together with the ranged upgrade for planetaries and missile turrets. AKA luxury. You can't buy anything on credit, but those are the types of upgrades you would never buy on credit in StarCraft. Okay. He's slowing down the game a bit. Yeah. Okay. And while this has been a pretty aggressive match from both players so far, maybe Rex is going to double down a little bit more. I don't really see him being able to clean up much on the other side. And likewise, I don't really see Percival ready to move out just yet. Maybe, though. Ultras once more putting in a little bit of work. Banelings trying to see if they can potentially kill the Ghost, but I mean, that's still a lot of Banelings for a small number of Ghosts. Barra Bomb is nice, but it's not going to be enough to one-shot a Liberator. In the meantime, Percival is once more being halted as far as the economy goes by a pesky little Zergling. Rex has done this now 3 times in a row. I would love to see the Ultras go into the healing circle too. Maybe Percival's thinking the same thing. He decides to just target fire down those units. Okay. Terran army has found a new base. Excellent movement. Planetary fortress coming up in the far bottom right. Actually, we have 2 planetaries. Where's the other one? Oh, something happened there. Ah, he just finished the one over here. I see. Okay. I mean, planetary or not, fully upgraded Zerglings hit. A couple of Ultras joining in the fray too. The Ravagers get the help. Not bad at all. Percival has another CC though, ready to replace it. And now there's also, besides just Zerglings, burrowed Zerglings. Even more annoying. Another planetary has finished up in the far bottom right. Both players at pretty much 90 workers. They're going to be able to replenish these troops for a very long time. Trades-wise, though, all of this is to be expected. Terran getting a cost-effective trade so far, but nothing out of the ordinary. Once more, he's coming in with an attack here through the right side of the map. Rex really doesn't have creep. I feel like creep is his main bottleneck here, and the reason why these attacks from the Terran keep blindsiding him. Oh, big fungal. Snipe, though, does go down. At the very least, the fungal delayed this army. A lot of ultras are going to run through the liberation zones. Another fungal coming in from the bottom. Yo, these guys are playing way better than I expected them to, if I'm being completely frank. Like, last time I saw them play, they were good, but not quite at this level. This is a proper game of StarCraft 2. A lot of strategic variety. Incredible performance here from the both of them. Planetary Fortress goes down. This is the first game in a best of 3, and it's delivering. Nicely done. I think this is a great example of how StarCraft tends to, like, the skill level goes up over time, right? Like, this is just the fact of any competitive game. As long as there's enough players, skill levels will continuously go up. And this is a great example of exactly that. Both of these players are going hard. Lovely work. Like, just maintaining your rank in StarCraft 2 means you're getting better. This is something that is oftentimes forgotten when you're laddering and you seem to not make a lot of progress. Just being at the same level means you're getting better. Planetary, can we mass repair it? I don't really know, I guess so, but there's a lot of SCVs dying to the splash. Ultimately, yep, the Ultra decides to change its mind for a little bit. The rest of the Terran army, though, is moving, well, back home to try and deal with this next wave of Swarm. And I think this is an overextension by Rex. He recognizes it too, but he does lose the Ultras on the retreat, other than just simply one. Look at that little butt wiggle. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Hey, there's a burrowed Ultra. Why are you here? Okay, you're part of a control group, but you're underground. I don't know why. My cats do that too, dude. When my cats are ready to pounce, they also do the butt wiggle. Maybe that's why Ultras do it. I don't know. Spire coming up. Liberator. Ooh, getting balled from somehow, some way, what looks like a high ground. It's a little bit funky. Drop in the main base is ambitious with the amount of spore crawlers around. Great anticipation here. Ooh, by the Zerg, but he did not quite anticipate that there was a large part of the Terran army in the far bottom right as well. He's got a Spire coming, so a handful of Corruptors would be great. Okay. I mean, Rex's economy is not bad, though. He still is maxed. It's been an absolute roller coaster if you look at the income advantage. This is mostly the mules mining and the Terran SCVs being pulled away. But Percival has seemingly gotten into a position where he's relatively safe. Right? Like, he's turtled every single entrance up. Wouldn't mind seeing this thing get something. Oh, okay, he's gonna resecure this base again. Anyways, I think he's relatively safe in every front, but he does need to be a bit careful still. Good snipe. Gets the Viper right before the engagement. Here's another wave of Zerg, though. Rex trying to swarm his way in a very lore-accurate way to the victory. Those ghosts are helping out so much, but it's honestly too many ghosts. Yeah, the rest of the Terran army is just not really there. Ghosts are, keep in mind, 3 supply each. They got changed in the most recent patch, and it makes them, well, I mean, just as strong as they always were, but they take up more supply, so a 200 supply worth of Terran is just not as menacing when you have 20 ghosts. I love the addition of the Corruptors right now, too. I think Corruptors to counter the Liberators, incredibly valuable. Speaking of which, those Lips should certainly be microed backwards. Rex just sending in whatever he's got towards the other side of the map once more. He just killed 32 SCVs. And while the majority of the expensive Zerg units are at like 1 HP, it seems like they are still putting in a bit of work. Rex needs to back up, though. He doesn't have a lot of gas. Probably not enough larva either to max out. No, he takes additional gases here. And he wants to go for another base. Now, lucky for him, when he tries to take this expansion, he will find out that there is, and he actually finds out before, that there is a command center in this location too. And while Percival has not been able to mine these resources very much, He's tried taking a base over here about 17 times. Maybe Rex is going to be able to pull that off. He goes for the expansion over here at the 3 o'clock. This is the gold base. A difficult one for Zerk to take, but when you're this aggressive, you might just be able to pull it off, because Percival is busy trying to put out fires at home. He is not really thinking about potentially, well, a Zerk player taking a base over here. Okay, now it's Rex, forced into a bit of a lull in this match. He doesn't really want it, but he needs to be careful. Still not with enough gas to really keep the floodgates going. He can reinforce, though, with Zerglings, and that's nice. He did indeed inject a bunch more times to get additional larvae. Additional Zerglings coming up. What about this planetary? I mean, I don't think the Ultras are going to be able to deny it. So, 13 SCVs do die. 13 SCVs did fall. But the command center is done, and there is a planetary fortress in position. Rex is still maxed out. Not enough gas, though. He needed those gases a little while ago. Also never harvested this one over here, and this is really his main crux. He needed to get those additional gases going. He could continuously fight. Now he might be in a position where he's not going to have that luxury.
Mineral field depleted. Liberator
that is sieged up on the right side of the map does actually see this base here all the way at the 3 o'clock position. Zerglings could be unburrowed at this point. The Ultra in the middle of the map was uprooted. Another Liberator falls. And those Corruptors have been worth their weight in gold so far. Very, very effective. Yeah, 8 Liberators have been killed. Medevacs are going to be next. Maybe a Viking or two. He should really transfer some workers. Oh, he is. Okay. Loads of drones moving on over towards the 3 o'clock position. And once more, Rex is trying to deny these bases. Ghosts! Okay, some of them got evacuated inside of the medevac. The rest of the Terran army, though, is nowhere to be seen. They have to all sort of run on over in this direction once again. But more of the Zerglings get the wraparound. He never researched the Ghost cloaking upgrade, and ultimately that is now resulting in about, I want to say, a dozen or so Ghost kills. What a game to start this series off. Phenomenal. It's all looking pretty darn good right now, though, for Rex. It'll be difficult for Percival to actually come back from this position. Yeah, he's got a mining base, but everything's incredibly disjointed. And Rex can continuously flood the map. That being said, though, he doesn't really know. Like, he doesn't know exactly how much money there currently is available for the opponent. And he doesn't know how many orbital commands there truly are. It's easy to overextend, so it makes sense to back up. He's oversaturating this base heavily, though. Yeah, interestingly enough, despite all of the expansions that he's had, he's actually running out. He should resecure this base over here, maybe transfer a couple of drones in that direction. But he's in the meantime also fighting on the other side of the map as he gets another wraparound on the Ghosts. Medevacs tried to see if they can at least evacuate some of the units away, but GG gets cold when the Corruptors jump the Medevacs. And that means that it's Rex who obtains the victory in game number 1. Next up, we find ourselves on Tokamak. Percival wanted to fast expand in the previous game. This time around, we're doing a slow expand. Well, reasonably slow. He's got himself a command center building after going up, well, to 2 barracks. And while maybe Rex wanted to play a macro game initially, upon seeing the first Reapers, he immediately decided to put down a Roach Warren. I don't know if this is him playing just a full all-in right from the start, or if this is a reaction to seeing the start here from Percival. But it seems to me that Rex wants to win this second game a little bit quicker than how he won the first. I think so, anyways. No, it's just a super quick Roach Warren, but then he doesn't make roaches. I think it's a defensive Roach Warren. That's like a 2-minute Roach Warren, though. That's very early for a defensive Warren. I guess he's going into a 2-base lair now, too. Huh. I guess he doesn't know, right? If it's when he sees the first 2 Reapers, he doesn't know if it's a triple Rex. And sometimes we see Terrans going for a triple Rex. Nice grenades. Sometimes we see them going for a triple Rex, and when they go for a triple Rex, you don't really know. And then roaches are a necessity. Problem is, normally we go for a lair and a roach warren off of 3 bases. This is Rex doing it off of 2. So what do we do when we get at lair tech? Do we go Nidus? Do we go roach speed and +1? Do we go spire? Do we just make a 3rd base and pretend that it wasn't late? What sort of tech will we be leaning into? Percival trying to get fancy here with his Reaper control. That's nice and all, but he doesn't know about the lair. What will it be? Good old roach speed. This is nice though. Reaper's going around the site, and he will see everything. Well, ultimately, these units will also see death. But at least they relayed the information back home that there's nothing all too weird going on the other side of the map. Other than a quick roach warren, quick roach speed, and a +1 armor upgrade. Problem is, those upgrades take a while. Rex is already sending his units out. He did also make a 3rd on the back of this, and we're going for a super quick infestation pit. What are we doing, like a 5-minute hive? I think this is where the kids say, let him cook. Yeah, we'll just have to let him cook. See what the plan is. I don't know if it's a good plan, but it's a plan. Couple roaches in the meantime on the other side of the map. Stimpack is done, by the way, at this point. Hellions are also cleaned up. We could go Swarm Host if we really want to, but I think it's for a hive, isn't it? Hive's kind of expensive, though. Yeah, look at this. 5 minutes and 23 seconds on the hive. In the meantime, combat shields got denied, by the way, by these 4 roaches. Roach speed finishes up on their way home. Okay. So far, the games kind of feel like viewer-submitted replays, but then at an extremely high level. Like, I think this is, you know how, like, in the viewer games, generally we're like, oh my god, this is kind of painful to watch. This is, I think, how most of the viewers that submit replays for me to go ahead and cast feel while they're playing the game. It's just that when you look at it afterwards, you're like, oh god, this was all suboptimal. All of it is a little bit messy. This is how we picture ourselves when we're playing games of StarCraft that are wild and wacky. By the way, if you do have a sick game, you can go ahead and send it over to replays@loco.tv. I haven't casted a whole lot of viewer games lately, but as per usual, we'll get back to it at some point. Feel free to send over your very best replay if you want to. If you want me to make fun of you, that is. Some people are very sensitive. So this is Vipers at 6:45. That is really quick. I mean, it might work out, though, because when you look at this Terran base, without the siege tanks, the roaches can just sort of overwhelm everything, right? And you can blinding cloud, or even better, just abduct them when it's this many. Or this few, I guess. +2 armor, by the way, before any attacking upgrades. Very funky. Percival so far, by the way, going for a relatively normal game. Obviously, he's been forced to react. But he's been trying his best to get at least a bit of value there. Maybe Rex is just playing macro from here, by the way. I wouldn't mind seeing a 4th Nexus, or a 4th Hatchery, rather, in that case. Oh, what? No! He lost one of the Vipers! And the second two! No! Ugh. Well, that is, yeah. That is one of the moves of all time. Look at Jimmy and Mark over here, trying their very best. Ultimately, they get covered in acid and they die. Okay, so 2 Vipers going down. I mean, you can obviously remake them, right? But it completely takes the wind out of the sails of the Zerg. If he ever wanted to be aggressive here, he needs to wait until that Viper is done. We're going Ultras? Oh, maybe that's why we're prioritizing armor. Yeah, that is why we're prioritizing armor. It was originally for the Roach group. Then he decided, you know what? What about I just do it over here too? By the way, the rocks on this map, we just missed it, but there is a mirrored location too on the other side. When you kill the cooling towers on Tokamak, you destroy the blue mineral fields, which is a really interesting mechanic. I think in this instance, Rex just wanted to make sure that it was all taken care of. Or maybe it was Percival, actually, that got the job done there. But now suddenly this is a base with only 4 mineral fields, which is not a whole lot. Anyway. Additional Vipers coming up. Did we lose the third one too? We did. Ultralis going into the chitinous plating research. Double expand here as well for the Zerg player. Yeah, all a little bit messy. Apparently all the roads do eventually lead to Lingbane Ultra with Viper support though. And likewise here for Percival. I'm assuming we're gonna go Siege Tanks with Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Mines, the whole shebang into a good old Ghost Academy. Barracks 6, 7, and 8 are done. Command Center number 4 just finished up too. And even though both players got into this position in a bit of a weird way, we have arrived at a pretty conventional beginning of the late game, let's call it. Okay. There's the Ghost Academy indeed. Now, what I don't really like here for Zerg is the lack of creep spread again, just like the previous game. Persephone, there was very little creep. And likewise, he doesn't have a lot of drones. The lack of drones is also very, very painful. His economy is just not that good. Bailing speed coming up. Adrenal glands coming up. Widowmine set up here in position as well to try and deny one of those bases. Honestly, we just need another like 20 workers here to make this worthwhile. It's difficult to squeeze those out, obviously, but Rex does need more stuff if he actually wants to stay alive and, well, eventually win. I'm assuming at least that's the goal. Because at this point, Percival, in a very weird way, is the one Zerging the Zerg. Now, because he's Terran, he will naturally take more efficient trades anyways, resource-wise anyway. So, yeah, playing Zerg in the late game off of only 70 workers, just a little bit shaky. He did go chitinous plating this time around to before the Ultralisk speed research. So I think in the previous game, maybe it was just, I don't know, heat of the moment type of decision. Percival, though, microing his way out of this really nicely. Yeah. This was a weird start by the Zerg, and he navigated that weirdness nicely. It's easy to get caught up in the early game. But no, he knew how to transition. He knew how to approach this. And I'm liking this spot for him more and more. He's got everything he needs. Zerg is not quite there yet, and I don't really know if Zerg is ever going to get there at this rate. The command center production has begun. Fusion core coming up. Starport 2.0 coming up, so we will once more go into the good old Ghost Liberator style. In the previous match, he did overmake Ghosts. I think probably like 8 or so is good. You don't really want to go too much more than that. These are, of course, by the way, that's a different Ghost skin. That's why they look a little different. These have a little bit more, let's call it curviness to them. Yeah, they have some more, yeah. Anyways, new hatchery building up north. Rex just not really getting into the groove so far. Like, he can certainly get back into it, but he doesn't really have anything particularly great going for him in this match. I know it sounds a bit silly because he's maxed out and he's got like a decent economy, he's got good upgrades and all the rest of it, but there's no easy win condition right now that I can see other than the Terran player making a blunder. Because Percival is cruising. Percival has got a lot of command centers already. He's making a whole lot more. Rex is very much so in survival mode, which might just work out. But he needs some good engagements. Oh, this is the beginning of one, it seems. Can we please research Ghost Cloaking? I don't understand why we don't go Ghost Cloaking here. It's a bit silly. We lost a whole lot of Ghosts to it in the previous game. You know what? I would consider that an overextension by the Terran player. But then likewise, Rex returned to favor on the other side of the map by overextending too. Okay. +3 armor together with the armor upgrade for buildings. Creep spread still not looking that great, but a bit better than a few minutes ago. Maybe like an infestor or two would be really nice. I think that would be a good investment. Loco, you're so funny. I'm gonna hit the like button. Thank you. Anyways, oh, there we are, dude. I'm so smart. I might be the smartest person in the world. Probably not. No, you know what? No, definitely not. Some good snipies coming in, though, for Percival. Zerglings trying to see if they can kill a planetary, but the planetary lives. And so do the surrounding command centers, I think -1. And that's 2 more Vipers down the drain. In the meantime, Percival hitting up north as well. Yeah, Percival's cruising. This is the Terran happy place. When you ask a Terran player what they want for their birthday, it's this. This is all they want, man. It's the only time they can feel alive. It's the only time they can feel anything. Look at this. What is this? What are we looking at right now? Man, he's just rubbing salt in the wound, eh? That's a little mean, but I you know, I'll allow it. Yeah, so ever since the beginning, ever since those 2 Vipers died, I mean, obviously there's been a lot of moves since then, but it felt to me that Rex had a plan. The plan involved 2 of those Vipers, and then the Vipers died to a Marine drop. And, yeah, we've been trying to play catch-up ever since. At this point, the supply count is looking, not too great for Zerg. And what's really interesting is that there are 6 orbital commands on the back of this already. Percival doesn't have much of a bank, but he can make himself a bank. 3 more orbitals finishing up, so we're gonna go up to 9. This means that he is effectively now a Terran mineral millionaire. He can buy whatever he wants. He's like your rich uncle now, you know? Like, Percival here is cruising along in a Bugatti, and Rex can barely keep his engine running as it is. But he's not finishing him off. He's got a fungal and a dream. And with a good Baneling detonation, it is still technically possible. If the Ultras can hit on top of a Terran army here, it could still be the case. How many? Okay, so we have 2 Infestors. And you know what? This is looking juicy. Okay, never mind. Missile turret. Apparently delays the push there for a little bit longer. Luckily for Percival, though. If he would have pushed in there, it could have been a disaster. Now he's scanning ahead of his army again. I think that's the first time he saw an Infestor, although he had already killed one. Yeah, and I think what we're looking at is a Zerg player with an extremely slow death animation. Terran players literally only want one thing, and it's disgusting. GG. Terran army is eating good today. Got some nice slices of Ultras. I mean, I feel like in this world, Ultralisk steak has got to be some sort of delicacy. Zergling ribs. Mutalisk wings, deep fried with a little sauce. Delicious. Well, Terran army was good, was eating good after that previous match. Now we find ourselves on Ley Lines. Final game in this best of 3 series. Do you think somewhere out there in the Terran Dominion there's like Ultralisk farms? Difficult to contain, I guess. Not easy to... Yeah. I guess you also need a ghost in order to actually eventually harvest the meat. It takes a while. It's not easily done. They have very thick amounts of carapace. Yeah. Hard to say. Anyway. Nothing all too weird this time around. Looks like we've got ourselves a good old triple CC 111. Rex going into a triple hatch opener of his own too. This is the most conventional game between these two thus far. Hellion Banshee. Likely will be the weapon of choice. Oh, Percival, by the way, with the horse. You'll have to see it. Very appropriate. Little horse decal. Yeah. All around his bases. And on top of some of his structures. Actually, I think it might be all of his structures. Alright. Hellions joining in that Reaper. Cloaking field coming up. Never for the ghosts, but apparently we do get it for the Banshee. Tech lab as well, so it should be good old bio on the back of this here for Percival. Although he could still go into mech if he wants to. Probably not. We don't really see a lot of mech. I'm assuming Rex wants to go into Ultras again, dude. It seems like this man loves Ultralisks. Zorklings, Banelings, Ultralisks. Maybe Roaches as a stepping stone. No scouting information for you today. Lerdo does start up at a conventional time. And we may just see a, I don't know, some spore crawlers, maybe a baneling nest. No Roach Warren, though, so far. And if we are going to play Ling Bane, the creep threat needs to be excellent. That is one of the things that has been lacking on Rex side of the map so far in this series. Creep threat, or a creep spread rather, has just been a little lackluster. Obviously, Percival has been trying his best to deny it. But this is the norm in this matchup. You do have to continuously replace those creep tumors, because otherwise you just run out of vision. Baneling Nest? A little late. At least if he wants to go straight into Baneling speed. No Evo chambers yet. In the meantime, Percival going into good old additional barracks. Stimpack coming up. We'll probably see the switcheroo over here. He's busy microing on the other side of the map, though. Banshees in the meantime at the front, putting in a little bit of work. Handful of drones have died so far, but nothing all too bad. A single Evo chamber. I'm guessing it's armor upgrades again, right? So we can go into Ultras eventually. You could certainly go into Baneling speed here, though. Hellions? Ooh, Hellions! Oh, no. Brenda, Karen, Margaret, every queen is chasing the Banshees. And while the Banshees are no longer dealing damage, the Hellions just roasted some drones. A drone barbecue, huh? I mean, I'm getting hungry now. Marinating the drones. I mean, when you think about it, a drone is huge. Like, a drone could probably feed a family for a week. If you compare it to the size of a Marine, more than a week, I would imagine. Basically the size of a cow. I eat about 1 cow a week, personally. Where do you think all these gains come from, dude? Steak for breakfast, baby. Let's go. Anyway, that was really, really bad for Rex, but he did get all of the Hellions in return. Yeah, drones are about the size of a car, give or take. They're big. Like a smallish car. Percival, though, trying to see if he can potentially get some more value here, because he knows, obviously, that Zerg wants to remake those drones at this point in time. Ooh, can he save it? Nope. Not going to happen this time around, but there are a lot more Terran troops on the back of this. And they're only going to get better with combat shields finishing up. Zerg, likewise, does have baneling speed now, but no more creep in this area. And this is one of the real problems, right? Maybe the Hellion trait, mineral for mineral, is not really that big of a deal for the Zerg. It's just that now you have to use your time to remake those drones. And then these type of attacks can, well, get legs. Literally. Lots of them. Hatchery goes down. And already this fight is looking really good. New hatchery is available at the bottom. That's where those drones are going. Maybe we should, yeah, exactly. Give up on the fight over here. Maybe put this as a pressure group, right? But think about where Zerg is going to be heading up next, and that is indeed where he is going. He saw the drones leave, so he knows that there has to be another base. Either it's the high ground over here, unlikely, or it's going to be, well, that expansion over here at the 3 o'clock position. Trying his best, though, to micro as many of those Terran units as possible. Barracks 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Command Center number 4 flies on over towards the left side. Marine drop, in the meantime, is inside of the main base, too. Hunting down, well, what is now trying to become a hive. Getting whatever value he can. Creep spread, in the meantime, in the middle of the map. Planetary Fortress will probably start up. Yep, he just did as soon as I looked away. Excellent multitasking here from Percival. Very nice vision. And this is difficult to pull off, man. It's not easy. It's very easy for this type of multitasking to go horribly wrong. We see that time and time again. Hatchery does not get cancelled. Rex is trying his very best to put out all of these fires. He does finish up the hive, but I don't think his love for Ultras is going to happen at this rate. 2-2 is just about to finish up for Percival, which is going to make these drops and all of this multi-pronged aggression even scarier. Great positioning here on those Marines. Keeps them on the ground for a little bit before getting away. One of the medevacs is overwhelmed, and the second one is also going to go down. That one was full of units. But Percival is smelling blood. He's got 8 Rex. I don't think we need this, man, but he goes Ghost Academy, an additional command center. He is playing this as safely as he possibly can. Admittedly, he does have a lot of resources. Good splitty here against the Banelings. Trying to mitigate as much of the splash damage as possible. Now the 2-2 has kicked in. He fired up the 3-3 research immediately, and those Zerglings really don't stand a chance. With 2 upgrades behind, and then the medevacs up in the air. I think this is the beginning of the end here for Rex. He started up 2-2 of his own during all of this. He still has a lot of minerals and gas available, but no larva, since all of the queens are dead. GG gets called, and it's Percival who obtains the victory 2-1.